How do I know when we're up?
We're up. We're live now.
All right. Hi. Can you hear me, Mike?
We've got you. We're live right here on Let's Grow Pulling.
So I got a new computer today, and I'm messing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Do you want to? Do you think
we got to switch?
We got to switch spots.
So you're gonna play the stuff behind us.
Okay.
Folks, Jason is pushing the buttons.
I'm gonna run the thing. But you got stuff.
So
ready?
we got flip laptops.
Flip laptops.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if we should do that though.
Why?
Because we'll probably lose everything.
So live looking on the technical aspects of the Beer Money Pulling Team Studios.
Like I want to run.
I see what you're saying.
I don't know why my thing's not working. This should.
Commercials.
All right. Hold on. Is it my computer?
I mean, when I do the show by myself, that's what happens.
Does it lag?
It lags.
So
super
let's
bad.
try this again. Open.
Let's make some noise. Good running. John Deere out of O'Keefe, Iowa coming up. We got one right behind you.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. Sorry, little clunky. I got a new laptop today for work, and I don't think I got here quick enough to get going. So sorry for that, Mike. Sorry for that, Mike, and all of our loyal followers that love Let's Grow Pulling every Monday night. Got an awesome show for you tonight. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about our weekend recap here in a minute, and we're gonna talk about Woodbury, Tennessee, full pull live. Mike went to a pull in Missouri as well, and we'll talk about that briefly. Got an awesome winners video from Woodbury, Tennessee. We got 3 classes in between rain showers, between the hurricane. And then we're going to introduce a brand new segment. How did you name your puller? And this is a lot of fun. And we had many, many people comment to this. And then we're going to bring Colton Whitworth. Mike's going to run that interview. Mike, what did you say, the first John Deere ever?
Yep. And of course, anytime an obscure and excellent statistic like this is brought up, you have to write your bibliography. So this is courtesy of Dan Mayer. He made this post about a month ago. First ever John Deere to walk away victorious in the NTPA Grand National Light Super Stock class. There have been like 7 other makes of tractors that have been champions in that class. But would you believe it? First ever John Deere 2024. Colton Whitworth's going to tell us how he got the job done in about half an hour.
While he's picking corn, I believe, is what he told us.
So he said he wanted to come on tonight. He was excited to come on. He goes, I don't need to push it back. He goes, as long as I've got cell service in whatever field I'm at. So we are like begging and praying that, because Verizon has shown nothing could possibly go bad today, and up there in the recesses of Putnam County, Missouri, I'm sure everything's excellent. So fingers crossed, Colton Whitworth.
Well, before anything, Kenzie got her hair done today. Kenzie, our regular camera is screwed up. We're not sure what's going on with this new camera. But Kenzie,
yeah.
Who's your stylist? Your
Tara Greenwood.
Out
of Total Designs in Baraboo.
So shout out to Total Designs in Baraboo, Wisconsin.
She said she was going to watch tonight.
For Kenzie's new haircut. Cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
She helps with Baraboo.
Please comment, ask us questions. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. We're gonna start moving into like the off season, if you will. But there really is no off season. Mike says it best: when school ends, it doesn't mean pulling stops. Full pull live proved that. Woodbury, Tennessee. We got Sevierville, Tennessee next, then the North Carolina State Fair, then Lufkin, Texas, then Diesel's and Dark Corners, then we're going to California. So it's not going to get boring.
No,
it's not going to get boring at all. So without further ado, let's bring up our Let's Grow Pulling weekend recap. And I want to kick it off first, Michael Idle, with Woodbury, Tennessee. Okay, full pull live, Mid-South pullers. It was fun for Kenzie and I. Mm-hmm. We love our Outlaws. We love our NTPA. We love our Badger State. We love seeing the stuff we see. But we got to see some stuff we normally don't get to see. I got to see some badass light limited super stocks. Richard Taylor with the 706 one. Some 12.5 farm stock tractors. I think that was pretty cool that Mr. Foster and the FFA did that. Got to see some light supers. Got to see some super farms. And then Hurricane Helene broke out. And we didn't get to see the two-wheelers. So without further ado, here is the full pull live Woodbury winners from Saturday night.
Looks good. I don't have any skin in the game. I got a Massey Ferguson at the house, so I don't know if we're going to have any.
I think we have one in here.
Oh, do we?
I saw one coming on a trailer today. Awesome, I don't know if he's going to be pulling here, but this is going to be Dylan Patterson out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, just up the road here. just outside of Nashville. And actually, Woodbury, Tennessee, we are just east of Nashville. About half? How far?
We're probably from downtown center Nashville. We're probably 45 minutes from there.
Okay.
We're Woodbury is about 30 minutes outside of Murfreesboro, and Murfreesboro is just
Oh, yeah, that's a great run right there. Oh, boy. We are in.
So awesome video there from our friends over at Full Pull Live. We were down there for the live stream this past Saturday night. And just again, shout out to the Fosters and the Mid-South and the FFA kids. Mike, they never gave up. We were literally one of the only pulls in that part of the world. And we were glad to get it on and had a good track. They opened it up about 2:30, Mike, and they just dissed it in. And it was really great. The two-wheelers would have put on a good show, but the range started coming down too heavy. There was nothing we could do. So,
well, that speaks volumes too, and you could just kind of tell, speaking with their promoter last week. But that's a good reflection of what FFA stands for: small town, hardworking kids. That's a never say die attitude. So it looked like on the weather, it would have been really easy to just kind of be like, we're not going to have it. No one would have blamed them. But to get as much pulling in as they did, and at the quality that they did, it's been a lot of fun to go back and watch that. All that happened on Full Pull. So neat stuff.
Yep.
Glad you guys got it done down there.
So if you have the Full Pull Live subscription, I've had a couple people text me and say, hey, do I need to resubscribe now that the NTPA Grand National season's over? And no. Yeah, we covered a lot of Grand National this past summer, but we also did an Outlaw event. So with your monthly subscription, you get all of these fall events. You get everything that we do all year round, plus you get the replays. It's the same thing with Outlaw Pulling TV as well. With your Outlaw subscription, you can go back and watch all 50 of our polls that we streamed this past summer. So we're excited to bring that to you, to all you fans out there. Again, 14 minutes away from Colton Whitworth. Mike, give us just a couple minutes about your weekend down there. And where did you go this past weekend?
So I hopped one town over to Macon, Missouri, which is, of course, the home of the Show Me Showdown. A lot of the pictures that I'm going to be putting up in my throwback session come from kind of the glory days of Macon, Missouri. They used to have a big 3-day pull over there. And they've got an upstart association that is putting on a Power of the Past called North Missouri Power of the Past. And they had a first year kind of a threshing show or a steam show, classic and antique tractors over there. And they partnered up with MATPA, Mid-America Tractor Pullers Association, as well as, and I said this on the microphone, this has got to be the longest abbreviation for any group I've ever been around. Let me see if I can get this right. The GTPOMMA, the Garden Tractor Pullers of Mid-Missouri Association. And they have like 130. They had like 130 garden tractors and like 13 classes and 5 hours of everything from 10 horsepower to 1,400-pound mini rods. So it was, I learned a lot. I've never really dove into a garden tractor pull before. And guess who I saw pulling garden tractors out there?
As did Lane.
Close. Dustin Ritter and family from the Stroker Ace modified 4-wheel drive truck. He's got a pair of boys that coming right up through the pulling ranks. So everybody's got to start somewhere. So it was a lot of fun. I was up there on the microphone and Dustin's like, wait a minute, that name sounds familiar. And I'm like looking at my sheet and I'm like, well, that name looks familiar. And next thing I know, Dustin Ritter's up there in the announcer's booth chit-chatting with me. So pleasant surprise to see the Ritter family. We had a good time.
Good deal. Chandler's going to Princeton, Indiana this weekend for the big garden tractor pull down there. So we're going to have some stuff up on our Pulling with Garden Tractor Pulling Facebook page and YouTube page as well. Kenzie's taking the weekend off. She's going to go. You're going to the David
Bealey Memorial Bowl
in Elizabethtown, Kentucky this weekend. So Kenzie will be down there shooting some pictures. So if you're in that area, a couple good events going on. And then we'll strike it back up here in a little bit. We'll talk about some upcoming events as well. But I got a new segment, Mike, I'm excited about. You kind of brought the throwback thing that we're going to do at 9 o'clock tonight after Colton Whitworth. But I'd love to know, Mike, and I think you as a puller as well, as an announcer, why did a puller name their tractor how they named it? You know what I mean? Or their truck.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a lot of, well, we were drunk and we just called it the red tractor. Or we got some, hey, you know, like this, there's some good, go ahead, Mike.
Stop using the words green, red, deer, and binder in the names for your tractors. Like we're out. They've all been used. Every combination or buck, they're done. So if you guys are sitting around in the shop drunk, green, red, binder, buck, deer, they're done. There's none left. You can't use those names anymore.
So without further ado, our new segment, how did you name your puller? Oh, we got to grab, yay, Kenzie. First up, we have Donnie Reef.
Oh, cool.
This is a fun story. This is a fun
Rags
one.
got named in 1986, and my lovely wife presented me with a new Centennial license plate that read Rags 84. She did that because at 3 a.m. one morning while working on my pull truck, she stopped me to have a burger. When finished, I turned around and placed my new intake manifold on over all the rags I had placed in the valley of the motor while cleaning the old gasket material. Obviously, this was all her fault for interrupting a chief mechanic while in the midst of an integral part of engine building. Rags. That's good stuff. How did you name your puller? Next one up. This one's cool. Justin LaFollette. LaFollette? Justin LaFollette. Sorry, Justin. Long story short, this tractor was built as a pro farm by my dad, Dexter. He passed away suddenly and never seen it finished. It was later converted to a light pro and was renamed in his memory. That's the kind of stuff, Mike. That's just awesome. So how did you name your puller, John Bohr? It was my grandfather's Chiefs pickup. Chiefs pickup. Is that like Kansas City Chiefs, you think,
Like
Mike?
No, like fire chief.
Sorry.
Kenzie, over. Woo! Kenzie got her hair dyed all blonde today, guys, on that deal. It was my grandfather Fire Chiefs pickup. He gave it to me. I was doing the Chiefs thing because of Mike. He's a Chiefs fan.
I got it now.
I was a Packer fan until the Vikings stomped on.
Getting my tomahawk chop going on back here in the behind the screen.
He gave it to me, and we built it into a street class puller. And while one of my best friends, Jason Miller, and I were building it, I got a fire call, and the dispatcher said, "Respond code 3." And that's when we said, "That's the name." We have ran lights and sirens every time it goes down the track. So really cool, really cool. How did you name your puller? Chris Daniels, Baby Huey, was what the guys at work nicknamed me when I was an apprentice operator. When I went to my first truck pull in 1986 in Plymouth, California, they asked me what I wanted to name my truck, and the crew said, "What about the Baby Huey Special?" So we wrote it on the side of my primered 65 Ford. Later, we shortened it to just Baby Huey. As many know, Baby Huey was a giant, super strong duck cartoon in the 1950s. We like to think the duck is all grown up now and stronger than ever. And that the stance on that truck is just badass. It was at the Pullers Championship, and we're going to see it November 8th and 9th at the Golden State Invitational, assuming they get invited. I would assume the Baby Huey would be there. I should check with Massetti before I start pronouncing his lineups there. What do you got next, Kenzie? Flynn Ag, short but sweet. The tractor's called Haywired. Haywire, it's actually wired ... This would be an interesting conversation to have. So, Kenzie, don't leave yet. Mike, what do you think they mean by this? It's actually wired.
Well, so yeah, I don't know on this. Like, if this was a truck, I would say that it would have its own internal starting device. You know, because with any like mini rod or truck or something, they have like an external starter, so they're going to bring that in. But a tractor already would. Like, tractors have batteries on them with like their own starting device already on them. So I don't know. Tell me, Jason. You're the puller.
I don't know. Oh, Ryan Folks says common rail. There you go. Boom. There it is. Yep. Darren Bomber says the same thing. So common rail fuel injection. Got it. Good stuff. Good stuff. So Haywired, Flynn A. How did you name your puller? Who's up next, Kenzie? Dylan Dirks. He announced with me in Sandwich, Illinois on Thursday night on fullpull.live. We named it Time to Play Around in 2010. We showed up to a pool and they asked what name. I suggested, well, our old truck was called Playtime. So I said, it's time to play. What time to play means we're here to play. And it's stuck ever since. Okay. Maybe I should read these, Mike, before I post them on the screen.
So I will highly recommend that. On the other podcast I do, I do the When the Smoke Clears, and I was just attacking those with no batting gloves, so to say. And I was just reading them live, and I hit a couple on there where I was like, ooh, That's a really candid response from this puller. Maybe I should read these beforehand next time. So yeah, I've learned that.
So I
lesson
said,
the hard
well,
way, too.
it's time to play. Beans were here to play, and it's stuck ever since. So if I read that properly, it makes sense. So, Kenzie, what do you got next? How did you name your puller?
Easy money.
Jacob Wiley. Named Easy Money after my late granddad. They called him Easy. So every pass down the track, I know he's there with me.
Oh, I
Now,
like that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
We should have a moment of silence. That's about as long as we're going to be silent.
That's a big deal for you and I, Jason.
I know,
That
I was gonna say,
that
Kenzie-
a-
I'm thinking about getting a clock to see how long we can be quiet some nights. How did you name your puller? Ralph and Mary Tramp out there in Oregon named it because I'm a Vietnam veteran. And that truck is pulling for vets. You can see it on the front of it. I actually have one of their crew shirts. I met them out there at the Golden State Invitational out there in Madera, California. Again, Full Pull Live will be out there November 8th and 9th. But I'm excited for that. And again, if you're wondering, we got more of these to go yet. But if you wondered how you want to get featured, we're going to be asking these every week. And then we're going to grab as many as we can. But this is fun for your fans. And this is something to post on your own Facebook too, guys, and your Snapchat and your TikTok. Let your fans know how did you name your puller. Who do you got next, Kens? Derek Hoosier. Named off my last name. Always heard growing up, who's your daddy?
Dude, that's a nickname,
That's the best
man.
one so far.
That's a nickname.
Who's your daddy? Who is your daddy, Mike?
Oh, Mr. Brad.
Kevin Davis is checking in. Imagine that pulling team. Now check out that truck. It was the name that the truck came with from the old owner. The truck was always right in the mix to win it every time. So one of the announcers started saying, imagine that. There he is again. It's big shoes to fill, and we haven't quite got the setup right yet to keep the namesake going yet. I'd like to know a little bit more about that class. That looks with the cut tires on the smaller cubic inch there. I'm going to find out more about that, Mike. Mike, you love trucks. That's your next assignment, okay? buddy?
As an English teacher, I want to know a little bit more about that spelling. I find that very intriguing with the imagine that truck right there. So I want even more backstory on that one.
How did you name your puller? Crushing It pulling team. One of a kind Black International 1066 called Crushing It got its name from the third generation family owned soybean crush plant based out of Salem, Ohio.
Oh, that's cool. I like
That thing
that.
is sharp. I want to.
Cool.
We need more pictures of that.
Yeah.
That sharp. Why are you laughing?
Oh, Burkholz.
Oh yeah, Burkholz is the best.
Yeah.
Okay, so is he the last one?
Yeah.
And then, but drum roll. This is where you gotta get sound effects here. So I posted this on my Facebook on the way home, or Kenzie did on my Facebook on the way home from Woodbury, Tennessee. And Colin Burkholz, everybody know they have an International 1456, beautiful light pro stock with no name. So check out this comment. Colin Burkholz says, really? And I said, Colin Burkholz, you don't qualify for this contest. So this is a new segment we're going to bring every Monday night to Let's Grow Pulling. How did you name your puller? Follow us on Facebook. Hope's going to be putting up a question. We just go through the comments and answer the question. You got one more? Well, Kenzie, you're my one in charge. Oh, this is a good one too.
Yeah.
Is that Jason Goody or Gutty?
How about good?
How about good?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I think so.
You think so? Somebody let me know in the comments. How about good? Thanks, Kenzie. Disposable pleasure was from a line in James Bond movie and is in the Bible. Grew from there with the DP theme name on a Pro Stock 4x4, an 85 Limited Pro, and now a Pro Field. Or no, an 85 and now a Pro Field. So disposable pleasure. So that's a threesome, as we like to call that, Mike. So no, I said that wrong.
Yes.
Mike.
Trifecta.
Trifecta. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Don't worry, I got you.
For
Words and things.
bailing me out of that.
That's a three.
So put our graphic back up, Kenzie. So that is our How Did You Name Your Puller segment, brought to you by Mike, Jason, and Kenzie every Monday night, 8 p.m. Colton Whitworth will be us in a few minutes. I do want to do a quick little summary of where you're going to catch us next here on fullpull.live. I got a promo video going up here. So here is the here's the schedule for fullpull.live. You get this with your current subscription that you have just every month. TNT Championship Truck and Tractor Pull, Sevierville, Tennessee, October 11th to 12th. North Carolina State Fair in Raleigh. It's one on Friday night, 2 sessions on Saturday, and then 1 session on Sunday. Dragon and Pulling in the Pines, Lufkin, Texas, October 25th and 26th. That'll also be seen on outlawpulling.tv as well. So if you're an Outlaw subscriber, you watch it there. If you're a Full Pull Live subscriber, you watch it there. Diesels, or both. Yep, or both. We know some people that are subscribed to both. Diesels in Dark Corners, White Plains, Georgia, November 1 and 2. One of the biggest diesel truck pulls in the country, without a doubt. Really focus heavy on 2.6, 3.0. There'll be some 3.6 and some super stock trucks there as well. And the Golden State Invitational, coast to coast. Full Pull Live has you covered from Tennessee to the Carolinas to Georgia to Texas. And we're going to round it out in California. And I'm sure Chase is going to come up with something else for us to do here. Sure. He'll think of something here for us to do in November. But that is the fall schedule for fullpull.live. We'll be helping with all of that. So I have a couple promo videos to play you quick here. This is for Sevierville, Tennessee fans. Again, coming up October 11th and 12th on fullpull.live.
Are you ready for an adrenaline-fueled weekend? Join us live on October 11th and 12th as Full Pull Live presents the TNT Championship Pull straight from Sevierville, Tennessee. Feel the excitement from the comfort of your living room and catch every thrilling moment of the competition. Subscribe now for just $39.99 per month and don't miss out on the action. Experience the heart-pounding thrill of the TNT Champion Pull with Full Pull Live.
Now, we did our best to put as many actual TNT trucks or competitors, Mike, that we know have going to that event. We reached out to Chase Carey. Him and his dad, Ed, owns TNT Truck and Tractor Pull down in, they focus on Kentucky, Tennessee, pretty much primarily. Mm-hmm. Some of those indoor pulls, that's Lexington, Kentucky. Chandler, Kenzie, and I went down to that last year and shot some video down there, and we helped with a big screen. And that will be in Lexington again, the first full weekend in January down there. What's that arena called? Alltech Arena?
Yes. The
Alltech Arena down there. So we're excited. Mike, Mid-South was so fun last weekend. TNT, we're showing off a bunch of different associations with fullpull.live. Super excited for that. Now I want to jump ahead to Lufkin, Texas, October 25th and 26th. Now this is an outlaw hook. This will be the final point. This will be the points finale for pro stock tractors, 3.0 diesel trucks, modified tractors, and two-wheelers. I think we're running some 4x4 pro stock trucks.
Pro stock 4x4 for bragging points and folding cash only. That season's already been concluded, but we're going to let them play if they want to.
Folding. That's like the guy, Mike, yesterday I stopped and got the truck washed on the way home, and it was a $5 car wash, really good car wash. I gave him a $100 bill, and he came back. He had to run inside, get change. He brought me back 19 $5 bills, Mike.
You really did feel like a big. Tell me they were like a rubber band.
My wallet ID to be like a rapper. Rubber bands. Have a little fun with that. So, but this Lufkin, Texas is great, you guys. They have semi truck drag racing during the day. We're going to live stream the pull at night, but our promo video has the whole event put together. So enjoy this, and you'll be able to catch us on outlawpulling.tv and fullpull.live October 25th and 26th. So super excited for that event, Mike, on Lufkin, Texas. That, Texas is a gigantic state. They have Texas truck and tractor pullers down there. The Outlaws go down there some as well. I'm not 100% sure. Colton Whitworth just jumped in. He's back in makeup, having fun there. So, Mike, set it up, and I'll play Colton's intro video, and then we'll bring Colton on. Looks like he is in a piece of farm equipment. I see his little Mike. Yeah, Colton, can you hear us? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear us, Colton. Yep, he can hear us. All right, cool. So set it up, Mike. Here, hold on, Mike. Let me get the stage set. Let me make you big.
All right.
Okay.
The pride of Putnam County himself, out of northern Missouri, 2024 NTPA Grand National Light Super Stock Points champion, driving the vehicle he calls Yield Express. Colton Whitworth is going to tell us all about how he got it done this year.
Oh, yeah.
That dog will hunt,
He
sir.
knows it.
Absolutely.
He knows it. Oh, yeah.
That dog will hunt,
He
sir.
knows it.
Absolutely.
He knows it. What they do, and
he makes this whole team go. And my grandpa started it all to make.
Awesome. Super cool video. Colton, thanks for joining us tonight. How's Harvest treating us so far, buddy?
Oh, it's going great. Can you guys hear me okay?
Hell yeah, this is awesome.
Yep. So, no, this is a lot of fun. We know that you're busy. You're right in the middle of harvest season. No rest for the weary. But thanks for taking time out of that to be on here with us this evening. And let's get right into it. Congratulations, 2024 Grand National points champion in the light super stock class. Has that fully sank in yet? Is it feeling real yet?
Yeah. It's kind of a dream come true. It doesn't get much better than that. So it's been a great year.
It's been a lot of fun. I was putting together an article that kind of featured your pulling team earlier this week. And when I was kind of thinking about, what angle do I want to spin on it, I thought about over the past 10 years, we've kind of watched your tractor, and it almost looks like you guys have kind of climbed the ranks and paid the dues. We've seen you everywhere from Western Series pulls as close as Milan, Missouri, and now we're going all the way out to Benson, North Carolina. Talk to us about, just how it's kind of gone over the past 10 years and how you guys have grown and built to be the level of success that you're at now.
Well, we started alcohol super stock tractor pulling in 2010, and as with anyone starting to do that, there was a lot of struggles, and slowly, trying to build on that from doing local stuff to jumping on up from the ag chassis to components and building from there, building engine combinations, and slowly working our way up, working with lots of different people to try to make that work, because it's all pretty unique kind of engine combinations really compared to the rest of the class. And slowly once we kind of started to get some things figured out, wanted to start venturing out to see some new places and pull against some new competitions. So it's been fun, the traveling and seeing the new places. I mean, all those events with NTPA, they're amazing events, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you guys have ran fairly competitive with really about all three national level associations over the years. Now, kind of refresh my memory. I think you pre-committed to points with NTPA in 2023, kind of scratched and clawed towards the top, came back in 2024 and won. Was there a trip to Louisville somewhere around that time too that you guys kind of really started knowing that you had something special?
We went to Louisville, I believe it was 2022. It would have been the last year that they had the light super finals. We had that was the last time we went there. It all kind of come together really. 2021 was a really good year, and started making good consistent laps at that point.
I like the way you said that with the consistency. In the article I wrote about you guys earlier this week, I compared your pulling team. You guys are almost like wranglers out there competing in the rodeo, because in the early stages, your tractors, they were kind of known for being in the highlight reel, but a lot of times it was because of some, entertaining passes that they were making. Do you feel that kind of getting those machines settled in and kind of getting to know them has been a big part of success? Or tell us, how do you learn to drive a light super? It's the wildest class in all of pulling.
Oh, it's tough. I don't know exactly the right way to tell you how to learn it. Just having, good teachers and just practice doing it. It helps. The farming background helps a little bit, driving grain trucks, stuff like that, helps a lot with how to work the clutch and stuff like that. And then the rest of it, having good, veterans from the sport give you tips and stuff helps a lot from there. That's for sure.
So talk to us about your whole family of pulling, because, you come from a long lineage and a long generation. I know your dad pulls, I believe your granddad pulls, might even have pulled some cock shuts if I'm correct. So kind of tell us how it all got going and how that's passed down over the years.
Yeah, well, my dad used to race sprint cars and stopped doing that shortly after I was born. Then him and my grandpa kind of did antique tractor pulling until I believe it was 2007. They built a couple 570 cock shuts that were on gasoline, single turbocharged, and run those local with Missouri State for a few years, and then got moving into the alcohol super stocks. And my grandpa, run one of those with us until he passed away in 2018. And then we actually had a couple light limited modifieds also in the mix there for a couple of years, and that was a lot of fun. The difference between a super stock and one of those was night and day difference, that's for sure.
Which one's harder to keep corralled?
Oh, the light super for sure. I mean, compared to, I know those light modifieds have changed a lot since we had them. I'm sure they're different now, but they weigh about the same. But the light super was making about double the horsepower. So
yeah, I was gonna say you guys are flirting with 5,000 or 6,000 horsepower, and that light limited mod's probably coming in around 3, if I had to guess.
Yeah, no, but those light mods were fun, and it's a lot of variety in that class. I like watching it still. I mean, it's a good class, and it was a lot of fun to compete in. It was a lot more, I want to say, maintenance free, or you weren't blowing stuff up quite as much.
Your former light limited modified, since we're just enjoying talking about this, is that the tractor that Geiger's ran this year with the Outlaws? Is that the one you guys used to run, the Captain Hook 2?
Yes, so we had that, and I believe they might have put a new motor on it this year from what we had, and then what Doug Roberts has now that he calls the Patriot, we had that also. But
of course, he's put definitely a new power plant on that. You guys weren't running a tank motor on it when you had it, I don't believe, right?
Yeah, no, we had the tank motor on it.
You did? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, my dad and Ernie Connor originally drove out there to Russell's place and picked up, pretty well bought everything they had, the old chassis and everything, brought it back and started putting pieces together.
There's a man who certainly knows his way around how to make V8s and alcohol work together. So, that's you had an interesting one helping you out with there. Now, earlier you said something and I kind of let it slide, but I want to circle back to it. And you can keep this under hat if you want to, but you said that your tractors have a little bit different setup under the hood compared to some other people out there. Care to tell us anything about that right there, or is that one going to stay under lock and key?
Well, the main thing, there's not many tractors left in the light super class running a true John Deere, at least the block, I guess, is all that would be John Deere. But most light supers anymore are international engine combinations. So I mean, that's the biggest thing. And then not many people running 4 turbos in the light class anymore. So just those are the 2 biggest things.
Yeah, the 4 turbochargers, that's been a hot debate. A lot of people are going, a long time ago it was 3, and then more is more, so everyone went to 4, and now everyone's kind of gone back to 3 on there. So you guys can say, as good as anyone, that you're kind of green through and through then. Now, I saw a stat on the internet the other day that said you are the first ever team in NTPA history to win light super stocks with a John Deere. Does that mean a little something extra to you? Are you out cutting beans or shelling corn in a Deere tonight? Or are you guys diehard Deere fans?
Yeah, I would. I don't know if I'd say diehard Deere fans, but that's the best option for where we live with dealer support. So you could say we bleed green.
Well, it's neat to make history regardless of how you do it. So let's kind of break down your season a little bit. Your NTPA stats look like this. You picked up 2 wins on the year. You had 8 top 5 finishes, 12 top 10 finishes. You only finished outside the top 10 once. And this is, of course, with Yield Express. Your average finish on the season was just right around 5th place. The old adage says consistency wins points championships. Was that the key to success this year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, consistency definitely plays a big role in that. I mean, of course, that win right there at the end needed that to finish it off, but consistency is what's going to keep you there. That's for sure.
What were your personal favorite rides that you took this season, including maybe anything outside of NTPA, Pullers Championship, or getting it done right there in Unionville, Missouri? Tell us about some highlights from your own perspective this year.
Well, starting off the year, getting to go to the Pullers Championship was great, and getting a win on our other tractor, Ben Buster, there was a fun ride. And then really the whole weekend in Benson on Yield Express was fun. I mean, those were some fast runs. You know, on a pulling tractor, speed just, you know, once you get that speed, it just feels great. You know, and those were probably some of our fastest runs all year. So that felt great. And then of course, you know, that last run in Canton to seal that championship up, that's got a probably the most special one. But that run in Unionville, it was, you know, in your hometown tractor pull, and we'd never won our hometown tractor pull before then, so that was really special too, and it was a fun ride, especially in front of your hometown crowd.
You know, and I want to tip my cap to you. That pull is really turning into quite an impressive pull that they have there in Unionville. That track is just getting excellent. The grounds are wonderful. Kenzie, who's in the studio with us tonight, you know, her and I help run outlawpulling.tv quite a bit, but she follows, and we follow NTPA and all the associations. And she was so excited because she was like, Colton Whitworth is going to pull. We're going to get to watch Colton Whitworth pull. And then when you laid down that pass, we were all on the headset saying, man, that was a thing of beauty. Let's back in the other direction. Any bugaboos this season, or I'll get right to it. What can you tell us about Tomah, Wisconsin? Did things get a little squirrely up north?
Yeah, that whole weekend was rough. I mean, for the most part, especially Saturday night. I mean, that Buster, that frame was severely damaged that night, and the other one wasn't so bad, just a broken spindle. That was pretty simple, but that frame had to be stripped down bare, and got to thank Lance Blackaby for helping get that fixed and back going, because it was a job. He had it back fixed up. We were at a region hook in Decorah, Iowa, I think probably 11 days after getting it home, so it was a thrash.
Were you driving that evening, or was your dad in the seat?
I was driving that evening. So
what goes through your mind when you know you're about to be on a run where things might get just a little bouncy there?
Well, it all happens so quick. It's hard to, you know, you think what you could have done after, but I mean, you can feel it happens fast, but when you feel that front end come up, and almost, you know, you can feel when one tire is coming up out of the ground, and when you can feel that one tire coming up and you're almost slowing down, you know, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be bad. And that one was not pretty.
Well, you know what? You made the highlight reel, and you know there's no bad way to promote pulling. So if it gets eyes on the sport, that's always a good thing. You know, Jason just popped back on here, and that reminds me, Jason's got a question he loves to ask pullers, and I think it'd be very fitting for the season you had. He wants to know, what track do you just absolutely love? What's one that you feel that's in your back pocket, you just can't wait to get there? But then what is also a track that is just as challenging for whatever reason? It's just a rain cloud on your parade in your setup or whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to think that maybe coming off the line a little bit smoother, maybe keeping the front end from hiking it up in the air so high initially.
And this is the tractor that he came in leading Grand National points this year with.
Mike, do we lose you guys?
Down in Benson, North Carolina.
Nope, you're still good. We're still
right.
I have the video muted,
and he goes for the hero or zero right here, and he sums it out to 320 foot.
Oh, is it playing?
Let's take a look at this video.
Doing it, folks.
Do I have the sound on?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
sounds on
soft
the video.
feathering at the line.
Okay, my bad.
Headed to that left-hand side, though. Ooh!
I got the sound off now, guys. Keep talking. That's
well, we were just, you know, listening to Tyler Slaw do his thing. So, you know, we were getting the no practice guys. Yeah, so Jason's got playing back here your wild ride in Tomah. But, no, Colton, tell us some tracks that you're really, really, you can't wait to get to. And then tell us the track that, you know, you guys just struggle with.
Well, I mean, it's hard to narrow it down to one favorite track, because we've got a lot of them, but Tomah, Wisconsin, that track it takes every ounce of horsepower you got. It's gonna glue you to the ground. That one, and both Wellington and Canton, Ohio, that Jim Miller building those tracks out there. That's those are some really good tracks too. And Brandenburg, Kentucky, also for southern track, that, you know, that dirt's a lot different down there. That's a really good one also. I mean, those four, it's pretty hard to pick. There's a track that's always threw us a curveball. We haven't ever really had any good luck at Wisner, Nebraska. went out there.
Oh, sure.
many years, and I don't know why. It just we have carnage every year we go out there.
You know,
Colton, that's one thing. Colton, that's one thing you and I have in common, buddy.
that track has claimed. I mean, if you even in the light super stocks in and of themselves, I mean, you can think, you know, Terry's had a big boom out there. Yeah, Whitworth's. If you look back at 2014 and some years, some of those old outlaw videos, you can see you guys getting a little bouncy. And of course, Jason. Well, Jason, you were able to promote yourself to a diesel super stock puller because of the events at Woodbury. So
then my diesel super didn't do well out there. We got one on Thursday, and then bad things happened on Saturday. Hey, Colton, we got a great video from the Pullers Championship. Mike, we'll play this quick of your guys' tractor at TPC this past spring. That was your past Saturday night, Colton. So
Friday.
That was Friday.
Right.
Friday night. Okay, my bad. So
yeah, we didn't fare so well there with Yield Express. We just got that engine put together. I don't know, a couple days before we went, and didn't get the turbos checked out like we were hoping to, and actually had a bottom turbo messing up, and it didn't want to. When it left the line, it just wanted to. It was just on or off. You could not feather it out. And that was, but it was great event, great track, and it was good to get out for the year and get some of those gremlins worked out.
Colton, did you at Canton, have you had a chance to go back and watch Full Pull live? We were following you around with the remote control camera, and you were trying to hide from us. You were there talking to Phil. We were trying to we want to capture that raw emotion. Did you get a chance to see any of that at all?
I watched the runs, not necessarily, the whole the part you're talking about, but yeah, we watched some of it.
But it was fun, Colton. I mean, Michael, let me set the stage. You're Colton Whitworth, young man, right? You have a chance to knock off one of the greatest tractor pullers in the history of our sport, Terry Blackburn, and you got to beat him. And it was a storybook ending for them, and it was fun to do that. So we had a remote control camera with Full Pull Live, and we were following Colton around, and he was talking to Phillips's and doing that, and the distances, because your brain's going, okay, if I finish this far ahead, but it was so, and Terry was so happy for them and congratulatory. We captured all of that. If you haven't seen that yet, fans, go to fullpull.live with your subscription, go back and watch the replay. I'm going to put Toma up next with no sound just to show the goods and the bads, because that's what we have to do in tractor pulling. But you guys go ahead and keep talking. So,
well, I like what Jason brings up, talking about kind of the support that you saw from the Phillipses and from the Blackburns here. Who are some drivers at any association that you've really learned from, or just have really enjoyed interacting with, especially maybe some big names? What's it like running with guys like that all the time?
Oh, it's great. I mean, our whole class is really everyone's so good and willing to help anyone. But Terry Blackburn, I mean, we've learned past couple years, so much from him. And then when I first started pulling, Glenn Freeze, John Hoffman, those guys with the Outlaws, learned a lot from them. And then, Terry Blackburn, I mean, I know I'm forgetting a lot of people, Bobby Jones, all those guys, but
oh yeah,
a lot of guys that's been doing it a long time. You can learn a lot just watching them, how they react to the situation and the track.
No, I like that. That's an excellent kind of list of who's who. And I love looking back at what you guys have done, because you've spent time with the Outlaws, you've spent time in PPL, you've spent time in NTPA, and you kind of hit all of them right there, with the Glenn Freeze, and then, your Bobby Jones, maybe be your PPL, and then Terry Blackburn, in the NTPA. So that's really neat, because I think that's a good reflection of what all that you guys have done. What goals do you still have left? You got a long pulling career ahead of you. Do you see yourself staying in the light super class for forever? Or are we going to try to win Louisville? What's still on your bucket list out there, man?
Oh, I mean, winning Bowling Green probably would be at the top of that list. We got within, with the Bin Buster tractor, top three of us was all within a couple feet there this year. So that was, we got close. Would love to end up winning there once. That's for sure. Other than that, I mean, I'm sure I'm missing a lot of stuff. Getting this first championship was definitely the biggest deal. So
what do you guys do in the off season to get ready to do it again for 2025? I mean, are we looking for a Louisville bid in the off season, or are we doing big overhauls, or what are the tractors up to tonight?
No, we will not be going to Louisville. There will be. They're just sitting in the shop waiting for attention. But we're gonna working on some getting some new couple new parts put together and trying to keep making some more power and stuff. So we'll basically spend the winter tearing engines apart and trying some new things, put some stuff together, and hopefully end up doing a little dyno in their midwinter or late winter and be ready for the summer to start.
So we've spent a lot of time talking about the light supers, but your camp is a little bigger than that. Tell us about your heavy super and just how you ended up with one of those and what you've learned and what it's like driving and working on that one too.
Well, my dad has wanted one of those tractors for a long time, and he had the chance. Mark Clifton and their family, they wanted to eventually, after Mark passed away, unfortunately, Rusty and their family wanted to eventually sell that tractor. So my dad had his eye on that for a while, and they
we'll need it.
Kept working on trying to work out a deal, and eventually got together, and he bought that and brought it home and took it down to Lance Blackaby's, and he did kind of a makeover to it and brought it out that first year. Didn't change a whole lot, and then it always had a small motor in it before, and this last year we put a big motor in it, taking it on up to the legal limit in that class with the cubic inch, and it's been a learning curve. We struggled a lot this summer, but made a pretty good run with it there at Bowling Green to kind of end the season with it, and hoping to build on that for next year with it. That class is so much different than a light super, just daylight to dark difference, and it's taken some time, and just the way the motor reacts and the chassis and everything else is a big learning curve.
Well, you're still looking pretty successful. If you go out to the NTPA website, and I'm just kind of flipping through some stats here, your light supers finished first and third in points, which is just, you got to be so happy with. But Field Forged, your super stock opener, your heavy super, it finished seventh out of a field of 15 that were competing for points. So while there might be a learning curve there, I mean, it certainly looks like things are trending in the right direction. What's the biggest difference between driving a light super and a heavy super?
Well, I've actually never drove that one other than on the dyno, but my dad wheels it most of the time. But it's it locks to the ground faster, and you get your acceleration way quicker. All that extra ton basically it has in weight, it really hooks up a lot quicker. And then down at the other end, into the track, it's got so much more torque with that bigger motor that when that sled really gets on it, it just acts like it likes it, where those light supers, whenever that sled gets on you, they're not gonna pull her a long ways, muscle it out like those open tractors do. So
kind of just what every pulling fan would know or announcer would know, speed's going to be the name of the game when it comes to those light supers. There's nothing that you're grabbing a little extra on the big end of the track, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that seems to be, or at least with our setups, speed definitely helps in that class with our combination, at least.
Right. So then, of course, that goes back to everything. Hole shots are going to start the speed. You're looking at tire pressure. You're looking at hitch height. It's all just fun stuff. So you guys have 3 alcohol burning tractors. There was a rumor at one point that we were going to see a duel of the fuels in Union Mill, Missouri this year, that maybe you were going to bring your heavy super out and maybe a couple of diesel supers were going to come out. Any rumors? Do you have any teasers for us to think that we might see something like that in your hometown in years future?
I sure think that's the plan. I mean, David Anderson lives close here. He has a diesel super. It just isn't quite done yet. Michael Rhodes lives close. He has one. A couple guys have some diesel supers not far from here, and then Mike Novinger's pretty close with that alcohol tractor.
Yep.
There's just,
Yep.
5 or 6 you can come up with close here that we were hoping, that you really don't get a chance to pull tractors like that close to home, and was hoping to, get something put together, a sponsor come in with, put a little money forward to have the class. And that was the plan, except for just people didn't get their tractors put together and breakage. We had a turbo lockup on ours. Didn't know if we'd have it fixed in time. So they just decided that this wasn't going to work out this year, and was hoping to try to shoot for next year. So
right, and I like that you say that. So for all the fans out there who are wanting to see, you guys do that, that was just a didn't work this year, not a we're scrapping it completely. So stay tuned, folks. It looks like they're still, and I agree, all the cards are on the table. I know a guy with a diesel super stock. So I mean, we just got to see where it's going to be that weekend. So.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to put some questions up on the screen that we've had during the interview while we're showing Whitworth. We showed your winning run at Canton, and we're just kind of showing that now. You walk around, pacing around. It's a lot of fun in the background. So, first of all, how do your crops look, Colton? I mean, are we doing okay this year? I know I know prices suck, but how are the yields?
Yeah, I mean, the yields are really pretty good. Some fields even record setting for some of our fields. Just like you say, wish the prices were better. It's not worth near as much as it was last year, but hopefully a guy can make up for it with some bushels.
No. Samantha Dawn DeReich says Allie is watching and saying, "Go Dada." So you've got some friends and some big supporters and family at home. So tell us about your family. You got a couple kiddos or just one kiddo at home?
Just one daughter. So she's just turned 10 months a couple days ago, and she's a jumping ball of joy. So she's went tractor pulling every tractor pull we went to until school started, and her mom had to go back to school. So she's been to plenty of tractor pulls. So hopefully go to plenty more.
Nothing gets in the way of truck and tractor pulling like school and teaching. I can tell you that, my man. Has she been in the combine yet?
She has. She was actually in the grain cart tractor yesterday. So she getting to have some fun at the field, and her grandpa likes taking her to check cows. My dad's more the cow lover in the family compared to me, or my brother likes cows okay, but he says that she's going to be the cow checker with him. So
there you go.
He likes to take her doing that.
That's great, man. That's great. Nothing better than being a dad for sure. Todd Morris wants to know, who does your engine program? Where are you guys going to get it dynoed? Who are your secret go-to people?
So Lance Blackaby does a ton of work for us. He will do anything we ask, compared, work on chassis, build engines, any new builds. He's an amazing fabricator. All that stuff. He'll do anything we don't want to do, that's for sure. And then Terry Blackburn up at Cuba City, Wisconsin, that's where we dyno at. We got his fuel system and everything on, and that's been an amazing help to us. His knowledge, and he's definitely, we've learned a lot from him in the past couple of years, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, some of the best in the business. Well, Colton, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I'm impressed with your multitasking abilities. When Jason was asking how's harvest going, I was just wondering, how are we operating the combine while we're talking at the same time? But thanks for doing that with us. Now, you guys have always had a great kind of sponsorship program. Your tractors, you guys have done a really nice job. You've always had sponsors or affiliations. So I would be really remiss if I got you off of here without the opportunity to give any thanks. So who all do you need to thank out there before we let you go tonight?
We got to thank our sponsors, NK Seeds. They do tremendous amount for us and the whole community and farmers in general. And Lance Blackaby, of course, he helps us out a bunch. Mark Korth, K3 Tire, Terry Blackburn, and Josh for their dyno service. They do a lot there for us. Ernie Connor does our turbos. And like I say, most of all, my dad for giving me the opportunity to do this. He makes the wheels go around, that's for sure.
That's awesome. Well, Colton, congratulations, 2024 Grand National Champion. It says the next big one on the bucket list is Bowling Green. A lot of stars have to align to make that happen, but you guys have got all directions pointing forward right now. So thanks for being with us. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. Best of luck in harvest and best of luck in your 2025 season. And thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Colton. Have a good night. Congrats.
You too. Thank you.
Mike Idle, that was an awesome interview, buddy. You nailed it. Colton was good. He was so casual, just kind of picking corn. Driving the combine, I'm driving like a big truck down the road. That's awesome. I love hearing about the family. I love hearing about life, the build, all of it. That way to go, buddy. Love you, Mike.
Colton's the man. Well, that's fun because that team, you know, they've kind of scratched and clawed and came up through the ranks and just kind of built the consistency and got bigger and better. And, you know, they're not far from where I live. You know, they're an hour and a half north
Todd
of here.
Morris,
So.
what a great interview, Mike. No, seriously.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. But
Mike on the mic, Mike Idle is the man. We're so blessed and fortunate to find this guy. Found him hitchhiking into Missouri. A poor teacher looking for something to do in the summer. And now he's one of my
Tennessee. I was in Tennessee. I was lost in Tennessee. So
my bad. So
I found trying to get back to Missouri. Who am I kidding? If you could stay in Tennessee and go pulling year round, I probably would have stayed there.
Before we jump into throwback, or what do you call it? Pulling the pass? I forget what you calling it.
Pulling the pass, throwback, kicking the dust in reverse. I don't know. Guys, help us name our awesome, retroactive photography session.
Read that one, Michael.
Gayla Tuttle Whitworth says he has loved pulling since he was a little boy. We're all so happy for him. Thank you for supporting him. You guys are a great family. You've done a great job. Colton's a cool dude. Now, he was kind of at the Pullers Championship. Wasn't that kind of like an 11th hour, you know, something? I don't remember, or like they were getting there late or they were, you know, something was funny. Like it wasn't an at-large bid or they were hit traffic or something and they just got there at the tail end.
I don't remember, Mike. I don't remember.
And I want to say there's something to the story. And so they showed up and they were like, yeah, we don't know. We don't have high hopes. And then bam, they start the season with a win. So
no, that's how it all works out. Our fans, we want to know who you want to interview. Mike's going to be lined up interviews and we want to interview, like, if you won your garden tractor points, we don't care. If you want an antique, Let's Grow Pulling isn't just all about, I mean, Whitworth's a great story. Great family. First John Deere. That was Mike's favorite to go to. But let us know who you want to do something to.
Definitely.
Probably planting. Yeah, you're right. They were planting. And it's like, we're not going to come, but they made it. So that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Samantha. But we want to know about that a little bit. We are going to go out Wednesday. Kenzie, Hope, and Chandler. We're going to do a Thank a Farmer. Coltrane Energy sent us some energy drinks and some Coltrane swag. Liquid Tube, one of our new partners, sent us some stuff as well. We're going to go out. We're going to interview some farmers this Wednesday, so watch for that video as well. I don't know. We're going to put the drone up, get some field shots, maybe making it all happen. So how about just keeping it simple? Retro pulling. There it is. Mike, retro pulling. You gonna make a graphic?
Yes.
Write that down, Kenzie.
Retro pulling. Drop the G off of it. We don't use G's in Missouri. We go pulling.
Retro
Do you
pulling.
want the apostrophe?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it correctly. Yeah, we're not gonna just, you know.
So, but Mike, thank you for finding these old pictures. We're gonna keep trying to find some more. I'm gonna go raid my dad's house here one of these Thanksgivings and see what else I can find there. So
what I like about tractor pulling, it's like a lot of things, but it's a lot of fun to not only look forward and see how the sport's growing, but to look back too, because like it's so wild when you see some of these things and you're like, holy moly, look at the lugs on this tire, or oh my gosh, that's a 10-year-old Jeff Hurt out there running around in the back of that picture or something like that. You just never know what you're gonna see, and it's a lot of fun. So we've got some interesting
real
ones
quick, Mike.
tonight.
Mike's blog, you guys, is money. It's well written. Last week you wrote about Bill Eichner. This week you wrote about Colton. And I put the link right there in the comments. Or just go to beermoneypullingteam.com, click on blog, and you'll check it out there. It's great. It's a well-written article. Mike, you're so talented, well-versed, well-spoken, and we appreciate that about you. Speaking of, I found a picture of me driving my dad's tractor, Blackjack, at the Richland County Fair back in 2007.
I want to see it.
I posted on my personal Facebook page. Joe Coe beat me with like this 5488 2+2 looking thing that he had for a year or two. Seriously, it's like the craziest ass looking thing I've ever seen. If you guys know what I'm talking about, anybody that's followed that in a while, I'm gonna go find that video. If you want to keep talking for a second, Mike, I'm gonna go find that video before we jump into retro pulling with Mike and Kenzie. So
Speaking of retro, what has happened to Brian Korth? Well, I have not seen him driving in a while. I don't, that team we've seen some.
He drove a couple times for Chiswick this year.
Did he?
I think like Louisville, they can only have one driver per class. I think he came out and I think they drive one of them at Toma.
Possibly.
Well, the big thing too with Cody Chiswick, kind of coming of age and having the good debut that he's had. So, there's only so many seats and everyone wants to keep moving in the direction they're moving. But Brian Korth, I tell you what, right now, if I needed dollars to donuts and I had to put someone in the seat of my vehicle to win a pull, I'd be giving that guy a call.
Dollars to donuts? Is that a Missouri thing?
Yeah, you need to come down south. We're going to get you south Midwest.
I was in Tennessee this weekend, dude.
Well, just Midwest South. Whatever. We'll get you cultured.
All right, I got to show you something funny here. So after the live stream, we were sitting in the production trailer with Dan Mayer, and Dan Mayer was our announcer. And then this is Allie McDonald. She's a full-time employee for Full Pull, does all the social media, runs the graphics for the live stream and stuff like that. She had this Baltimore Ravens sweatshirt on, Mike. Okay. So as I set this,
because they're from Maryland, right? She's from the McDonald family, I think, is out of Maryland. Yeah.
And then Dan is formerly from Buffalo, right?
I'd forgotten that. I was all shocked last night commenting because I thought he was from like Southern Indiana or something.
So we had a little bit of you guys got to watch this little here back and forth. This is fun.
Allie McDonald, go Ravens. Dan Mayer,
go Bills.
Saturday, we're sitting in Woodbury, Tennessee.
In the rain.
Well, actually, we're in the trailer, but it did rain.
Can you guys hear that?
Dan, what you hear? Allie was running her mouth a little bit about them Ravens. Or?
Well, she's got the Ravens, sweatshirt on.
Okay.
And I had to bring up the point that big game tomorrow night, 8:20, Channel 2,
in
NBC.
Baltimore. In Baltimore.
So
in Baltimore.
So Dan's on the mic in Sevierville, Tennessee, at the TNT poll. They're into the season poll, October 11th and 12th. So Allie will be in the production as always.
Graphics.
So I said we should have a friendly wager, right? And what did we come up with, Allie?
If Zay Flowers, who plays for the Baltimore Ravens, scores a touchdown on Sunday Night Football, then I get to announce for a class in 2 weeks in Tennessee.
A whole class.
A whole class.
Does Dan have to leave the room?
No, he can do it with me.
Okay,
I don't want to do it alone.
Neither do our fans. Yeah, we're not going to have like a leaderboard for a full class.
So there's no graphics, you know why. But if I lose, I have to wear a Bills jersey all night, and he can poke fun of me all night.
Please, this will be great. Dan, good luck.
Okay, well, we're hoping.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Ravens. Go Ravens.
So needless to say, Allie's looking for a Buffalo Bills jersey because her guy didn't score a touchdown last night. Even though they won the game, Mike, she needs a Buffalo Bills jersey to wear in Sevierville, Tennessee, October 11th and 12th. So
this is why the parlays and the games and the wagering are so fun. It's not just who wins the pull. It's the head-to-head and the touchdowns. And it's just a matter of time before you see stuff like this on fullpull.us. Like, if so-and-so pulls 320 feet plus, then, you can make side bets or whatever. But, she needs a Bills jersey.
We're on. So I'm just looking for that. I want to show you that video of me driving my dad's tractor back in 2007. And I have the hood off this tractor that's going to go over my pool table. So I'm excited for this. I just got to find it. Man, I post a lot on social media, guys.
You have a lot to sift through.
I think I post too much every day. I swear I put
it would be interesting to know when it's all said and done how many grand total of all the pages, social media posts, has Jason Schultz hit post on in his life?
All of them.
It's at least 6 digits.
Where is that at?
Did you post it?
I swear I did.
I said you can just go to your.
Well, without further ado, let's roll into retro pulling with Mike Idle. Do you have a graphic yet? Oh, you're bad.
I know.
You're a bad co-host. Fire me. No, we're going to keep you around. We're going to keep you around. So without further ado, Mike Idle, take it over, my man.
So I'm going to try to incorporate some trivia questions with some of these. And you guys kind of sort of aren't allowed to answer. You can answer if our comment section doesn't chime in very much. So I'm going to throw up 4 tractors. Now, I think every single one of tonight's pictures, every single one of them came from 1992. I'm going to show 4 pictures. You tell me which of these tractors won a points championship this year. Same tractor, same driver, though the tractor has left and come back. I'll leave it at that. So which of these won a points championship this year? Same tractor, same driver, same name. And who did they win it with? So we have Exhibit A, Tractor B, example number 3, or Tractor lowercase I, because I'm not going consistent. Which of these 4?
Mike, do it again. Do it again. Show them one more time.
These 4 won a points championship 2024. Was it a white painted 88 series IH? Was it some blue looking thing? Never seen this one before. Could it be a green 4010? I don't know. Maybe it's a 4020. Lots to talk about this tractor too. Or Daryl Cokerham's former G1000 Minneapolis Moline. Let me know in the comments which of these tractors won a points championship this season. Beer money pulling team, any behind the scenes guesses? Do you know, Jason, do you know, like for a fact, can you be like, I know the answer to this question?
It's the blue tractor.
Notorious.
Yep,
it's in Wisconsin now, and I think either Pysig's got it back, and it either won light limited super or light super. I saw it on Brent Yarn did it on WTPA.
Yep.
Kevin Lynn have it?
Yeah, Kevin Lynn's got it, and it's a light limited super now, still burning diesel fuel. So this is
Todd Morris, the 4010 up and at him. I know that was not the one. Laugh out loud. Well done, Todd. Well done.
But no, talking right here. So this is 1992 Show Me Showdown. Actually, guys, if you zoom in or if you look closely at the background right there, you can see this is Macon, Missouri at the Macon County Fairgrounds. And there's kind of like a front awning up there right in the middle. That's where I was standing earlier this weekend announcing from that, 20, 30, 32, good God, 32 years later. So this picture is taken in 1992, 5,500-pound light super stock, one of the most famous Ford tractors ever to run, made its way over to Illinois, got pretty close to like Bobby Jones's camp at one point in time. Bobby Jones was telling me something about it. Guys, really neat thing about this tractor, it always had like the fiberglass, like rear fenders, almost like more what you'd see in like a modified or something like that. It had this big clear fiberglass on the back that Kevin could turn around and like see through when he was backing up to it. So the Notorious tractor definitely living up to its name because it is entirely notorious. One of the most recognizable Fords there ever was. What other Fords did Kevin Lynn have? He had the 504 Rocket, right?
And
the Bomb.
Who had it?
Yeah, the Bomb.
The Bomb. Now, is there an affiliation between the 504 Rocket and Haley's Comet, or is that totally not? Is Haley's Comet, was that Brian Bowles?
Eleanor that Mark Olma drives.
That's Haley's Comet, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
and who drove Haley's Comet? I think it was Brian Bowles. I bet it was Brian Bowles. Okay, let's go to
Mike,
another.
hold on. Mike, hold on. Is this the tractor that we're talking about? I got it. Is this it?
No, it looks almost just like that still.
Was it Region 3 or was it WTPA?
Badger State.
Badger State?
I think it was Badger State.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm not from Wisconsin. Hawkeye
I know this.
I don't know.
I'm on I know that tractor. I wish Brent Yarn was watching. He's been working his butt off. Mike, I'm telling you. There's Lynn. That's Kevin.
Then maybe it was.
I thought maybe that tractor. You said it was a diesel burner, right?
Mm-hmm.
That tells me it went light limited super. I can't believe.
Maybe I am misspoken. I thought, because I even thought Kinsey and I thought we were in Buckner, Missouri, Kinsey, and you pulled up a post that showed it. That the Notorious one. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
Okay, what is that? That's a light super. Okay, well, I'm surprised the fan hasn't jumped on yet and corrected us. Must not have the right people watching tonight. Mike, I swear. Did you guys tell me that maybe I'm wrong?
There's a first time for everything, Jason.
So I'm wrong 10 times a day. Yeah,
Brute Force did, but
that's what I showed earlier. Is that the old tractor? That's what I need to know.
No, I don't think so.
This is Brute Force now.
Yeah.
That's Ryan Lynn, Kevin's boy.
Mm-hmm.
But is that the old tractor? Is that the old chassis? That's what I'm wondering.
No, because there's Notorious Light Limited Super Edition that John Lynn drove.
John Lynn drove?
Yeah.
So they have the old Notorious out. We need a picture of
Yeah.
it. We need a picture of it. Mike, I'm going to keep digging. You keep going, Mike. We're going to keep digging.
I can do it. So trivia question number 2. Kinsey might know the answer to this. Jason, you can surmise on this one. I hope we have some Outlaw fans out here tonight. I'll scoot over. Any Outlaw fans? It's over the other shoulder. Any Outlaw fans out there tonight? Because this tractor right here, the High Plains Raider, driven by Randy Hervert in 1991, 1992, what current Outlaw puller took their senior pictures, their senior year photos were taken in the driver's seat of this tractor?
Spatansky. It's Spatansky.
I don't think so.
That's a fair guess. It looks a lot like Spatansky's tractor, but you would be mistaken.
Justin Hoffman.
No,
sir.
What, a current young gun?
No, not a young gun.
Okay.
Can I say it, Kyle? Or
you call him Kyle.
You call him Kyle Petch.
yeah, because that's the answer.
Kyle Petch?
Yeah.
No way.
Kinsey,
Yeah.
Hold on. Say that again. Hold on. Ed Evercamp's watching. Ed will know. Okay. This post on Wisconsin Polling Media. Notorious Site Loops. Jim Falls, Wisconsin. Go to Wisconsin Polling Media. That's Trevor Call, right?
No, that's our buddy.
Oh, okay.
But the High Plains Raider came out of Ravenna, Nebraska, driven by Randy Hervert. Later on was mechanicked, driven, wrenched by Kyle Petch. Kyle Petch cut his teeth driving this tractor.
Do you have a picture of Kyle Petch driving this tractor?
I do not. This picture,
Mike, you got to go all the way.
We got it. Well, the ball's in his court, man. I'm just retro pulling.
I'm gonna call Kyle right now.
Yeah, dude. So not only do I want to see the tractor, I've got to see what sort of senior swag Kyle.
He had hair for days.
The chief operating officer, the chief, whatever his title is, officially starts tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
You don't believe it.
Yeah. Kyle Petch,
we need the photo, Kyle.
Kyle, talk to us.
Yes, I did drive the High Plains Raider. And yes, I did have a mullet at that time.
Mike, can you hear Kyle?
Kyle, you told me that your senior picture was taken in the seat of this tractor.
Not in the seat.
Oh, okay. Do we have the photo anywhere?
Working and driving that tractor. But yes, I'll bring a picture. I've got a picture of me driving.
Is it posted anywhere?
No, it's on the wall of my office.
Oh, okay.
We don't want you driving it. We want the senior year photo with the mullet and the leather jacket slung over one shoulder, or however they did things in 1990, whatever year you graduated.
I should bring it because on that same picture, I have Dennis Johnson's light D21 Shag Nasty that I was driving as well.
I have a picture of that one that I just might have to feature in a couple of weeks, so we can bring that tractor up here also.
Yes.
Mike, can you hear Kyle? Okay, as he's talking.
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear him. Yep, I can hear him.
Greg Lissetto says, "I have
video." Yes. Oh man.
Okay, Jeremy Bayer says Lynn's old Notorious tractor came out last few hooks of the year. Brute Force won the points though.
Okay. Maybe he won. Okay, so did Notorious win a pull? Maybe he didn't win points. Did he win a hook with it?
I don't know. We'll have to find out. Kyle, how are you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Good. We had
here watching the show.
Yeah, we had a good podcast tonight. Mike, we did our what? Okay, let's do Thermal Thunder. How did we name Thermal Thunder Thermal Thunder?
Well, so my wife Kim will tell you that she came up with the name first, and then along the lines later, we thought it was a good idea. But it's a lot of heat that comes out of it, and hopefully it makes a lot of noise, and that's what we come along with. No grand big story or anything with it.
That's all right. I like it.
Kim will tell you she named it.
And do you agree with that statement, Kyle?
As a married man who likes to have sex, yes is the answer. It's after dark. It's after 9. It's after 9. This is our show, Mike. We can kind of say what we want. So.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Terry Benson. Yeah. So Ed Evercamp said he did win in Jim Falls, and that is a WTPA hook. I've been there with my 4-1, and then Terry Benson, he knows. He said yes, he did win at least one with Notorious. So go to Wisconsin Polling Media. Let's show.
Did not win a points championship.
No, but he won
a hook.
He won a hook. So
the word "won" was correct.
Yeah. But Kyle, so you're going to get us a picture, Kyle?
Yes.
Okay.
I will get you.
Blow that up. Yep. So here it is. So this is a light limited super stock that pulls with WTPA, Wisconsin Tractor Pulling Association, a state member association of the NTPA, and there it is. So that's good history, Mike. And then shout out to Wisconsin Polling Media for having that sweet pick.
It was a mean run, and this Notorious tractor was tough to beat in the day. Always a hard runner. So good to see it still getting victories out there.
Yep. So good deal. Well, Kyle, thanks for answering your phone. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. We'll talk to you later.
See you, bud.
Good show.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. So we've seen.
All right, so we can, Mike. Just so you know, we can actually call people and we can hear them. Could you hear Kyle? Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. That's
that was perfect.
If we need to start calling some people.
We've got another good transition here, Jason. So the whole segment, what's in a name, right? What's in a name? What is the name of Neil Gettinger's current tractor?
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned. And it is red or green?
It is red.
And it is a diesel or it is an alky burner?
It's an alky burner.
So Neil Gettinger's original tractor, right here, the Up and Atom, was
I feel like who else feels like they're in class right now? Me.
Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah, and the principal's watching too. But so Neil Gettinger's original tractor was a John Deere diesel. So you tell me what's in a name. He learned some lessons right here. He learned evidently red's the way to go, and evidently alcohol burning's the way to go. But no, before we had the lessons learned Case IH International, we had the Up and Atom tractor pulled for a long, long time. I think this one was actually a 7,500 pound super stock. This is going to be 1991, probably as well, maybe older. This could be older than the more I look at this picture. This might be mid 80s at the Missouri State Fair. If you have any idea of years on some of these, let me know. But no, here's Neil Gettinger before the lessons had been learned. This was the Up and Atom. But yeah, as times changed, he decided that he had learned some lessons and he transitioned over to the red side and to the alcohol side. No fun stories with the next two pictures, Kinsey. They're just really cool pictures and really cool tractors. This one right here is awesome. Daryl Cokerham, G1000 Minneapolis Moline, Macon, Missouri, 1992. And sitting behind it is a white Oliver, not as in like it's painted the color white, but like as in when like WFE acquired Oliver and Minneapolis Moline and Cockshut and everything all at the same time, the Misbehavin' tractor, and you can actually see on the side shields of it, it's got the white Oliver moniker, the white Oliver brand on there. So a couple of odd duck tractors or a couple of, other looking color tractors right here. Good hard running ones. I'm sure that Cokerham's Minneapolis Moline was on alcohol, but if I'm wrong in the comments, tell me. And the last one, this is just an awesome shot. This is just a great picture. This is the staging lanes of 7,500 pound super stock tractors, Macon, Missouri, 1992. Stephen Stan Blegrave sitting in the front with Red Horse. Neil Gettinger's brother drove a D21 and then he sold it. And the guy who bought it after him named it Down to Boogie or something Boogie, and that's that D20 run right there. And then you have Deere and Company sitting in the back, as well as the Rawhide tractor, probably Tom Dickerson driving Rawhide at this time, not entirely sure. So just a beautiful, beautiful shot of some iconic 7,500-pound super stocks getting staged and getting ready to pull. Retro pulling. What's in the name? Who's still winning? And who took their senior picture on what tractor?
Mike.
Jason.
I want you to read your blog to the people, because I want everybody to know that you have a weekly blog. I'm going to pull it up.
Did you find a grammatical error that's being pointed out?
What? There's an error?
There's usually one or two.
I'm not too worried about you. You're our friend. So, but you want to? I don't know. You probably can't read it on our screen, but if you want to read it off your screen, but I'll put the article up again. I'm going to have Kenzie. I'll put this in the link for everybody. Again,
I'll pull up the original. I'll pull up the Google Doc.
There you go. You read it. You read it to the fans. This is awesome. Sure. This is at beermoneypullingteam.com. Click on blog. There's a lot of great articles. Everybody's like, where'd the Puller magazine go and stuff like that. And that kind of inspired Mike to write a weekly blog. And we're happy to host it on Beer Money Pulling Team.
Yeah. And in my latest angle, throughout the season, I was kind of watching the developing points and really got honed in on the Outlaws at the middle of the season. But now that everything's kind of wrapped up, honing in on points championships, just some of the neat stories going around out there. So this week's was titled Whitworth's Willpower Provides Points Championships.
Now say that 5 times real fast.
I like alliteration. I like to throw, if you look back there, Leichner's Legacy, Legendary, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. A little self-indulgent, whatever.
No, you're the man. You're the man.
Says horsepower wins pulls. Consistency wins points championships. That has long been the adage in our sport. Showing up night after night, keeping the tractor on the track, making solid point A to point B passes, garnering a plethora of top 5 finishes. This is a wash, rinse, repeat formula that has earned many a driver the #1 spot by the end of the year. Consistency. But as I am sure any puller would tell you, this is a wild oversimplification of what it takes to amass enough finishing points to be the lone driver seated in the pole position at season's end. It takes wrenching, driving, track reading, adjustments, driver skill, crew sacrifice, and no small amount of luck to come away victorious. But upon watching the family team of Scott and Colton Whitworth over the past several years, I have determined there is another factor at play: willpower. That's paragraph #1. You want the whole thing? Can't hear you. I'm going to keep going.
Yes. Keep going. Sorry, I muted myself, so I wouldn't talk over you. So.
Paragraph #2, it says, if I were to analyze the Whitworth's approach to pulling over the past decade, I would present to you a team who has paid their dues, endured setbacks, and essentially worked their way through the fields of competitors until they felt they were ready to do battle among the oldest and grandest of national circuits. If we turn the clock back to a decade or so, we would be met with a familiar sight. A pair of John Deere 4020 Light Superstocks painted white, boldly proclaiming a sponsored partnership on the side shields, piloted by Scott and Colton Whitworth. Hailing from north central Missouri, I'm not afraid to compare this father-son duo to a couple of good old-fashioned Bronco busters. The analogy probably holds more true for their tractors. When I first began keeping an eye on these vehicles, I had no doubt in my mind each of them possessed a spirit of their own. These Deeres were not so much like a couple of 8-point bucks as they were a pair of free-spirited wild Mustangs. The power was obvious. Their will was independent and undetermined. The Whitworths would mount these beasts of the prairie year after year, and each time many a spectator held their breath as the boundaries between tractor pull and rodeo were blurred. You were in for a show. These tractors were just as liable to snort, pop, buck, kick, or bound down the track as they were to fly past 350 feet. Be it, my computer jumped on me, be it man and machine or cowpoke and stud, the power of wills was on. Could these guys get their tractors to settle in? Could they make the adjustments? Could they find the happy balance between driver and destination? The years went by. The sponsorships updated. The snorted runs became fewer and further between. The bucks and twists began to give way. The victories followed. The drivers got further from home and the stages got bigger. Like any good horse, a trip to Louisville was in its visions. though for these it was Freedom Hall instead of Churchill Downs. In 2023, a switch was made, and a team poised with confidence and its ever unrelenting willpower made the jump to the NTPA Grand National Circuit. A third-place finish for Ben Buster and a sixth-place finish at season's end for Yield Express proved these bucking broncs had been tamed, and a new cowboy was competing with the veteran Wranglers. 2024 left only a few positions left to climb. The patience, confidence, and strength of will were there for the Whitworths as Yield Express rode its way to the championship position by year's end. This not only earned Colton his first Grand National Championship, but also generated NTPA history by becoming the first John Deere branded machine to take home a title in the light superstock class. Has the pony entirely been tamed? There's nothing tame about a light superstock pulling machine, and Whitworth's ride at Tomah, Wisconsin proved just that. In the end, it's not about taming the beast or machine. It's about having the fortitude to constantly get back in the harness and letting the strongest will prevail. We have no sound again, Jason. There
Mike,
you go.
Mike, that's awesome. That's an awesome article. I want people to find it. We have, Mike, how many blogs have you written for us now?
My first blog highlighted the Nelson's run at the National Farm Machinery Show. I said only good things happen after midnight. So it was like the day after the farm show. So I've been doing them since February. There's probably a dozen, 20, I don't know. I bet there's a dozen or more, 15 of them up there.
They're awesome. They're awesome, Mike. You're well versed, and Whitworth deserve that. You know, I mean, we got to make our pullers our rock stars. We've been talking about this for quite a while, and we can bring some big sponsors in and get real money back to our pullers. So excited for that. So I want to wrap it up here pretty quick because it's a school night. Did everybody catch? Yes. Wow. What a good article, Mike. Seriously, guys, go check it out. BeerMoneyPullingTeam.com. Click on blog. Share that on your social channels. Kenzie got her hair done today, just in case you just joined us late. And our regular camera is goofy. I'm not sure what happened. And Kyle Petch did have a mullet. Just want to throw that out there. So Simon's deal got they talked about the No Practice podcast last week. A lot of people watching that. RJ said he'll come on here in a couple weeks, and as that develops more and more and more. I just want to highlight one more time the full pull live fall schedule. And then Mike, do you have anything else yet tonight, buddy?
Green flags and tight chains. Pulling is fun. That's what I say when I don't know what else to say, because that's just as true right there.
Pulling does not stop when school starts. I still love that. So there's
I'm not going to lie. I was well into the Coors when I came up with that. So, well done, Adolphus Coors, for the inspiration on that one.
For those of you with the current full pull live subscription, you can watch all these pull with your current monthly subscription. Outlaw TV subscribers, you will still get your Lufkin, Texas. We're going to stream that on both channels for all of you fans out there. But we're going to cover TNT, NTPA in Raleigh, Outlaw. Diesels and Dark Corners is a non-sanctioned event, but you're going to have trucks there from all the associations. 2.6, 3.0, 3.6 super stock diesels, some Pro Farm tractors, some 4.1 semis, and then MLM Motorsports Golden State Invitational. It's going to be fun. Dan Mayer is going to be on the mic for TNT. Raleigh is going to be Bert Forbes. Ron Stone and Dan Mayer will be Outlaw TV and Full Pull Live. Diesel's Dark Corners, we're still working on that. And then Golden State Invitational will be Dan Mayer and Chase Richardson. So it's going to be fun. We're going to keep you entertained all season long. Again, Kenzie, we had a blast in Woodbury, Tennessee. Everybody was so nice. Shout out to Martin Daniel. Got to talk to him a little bit. A lot of times you're so busy you don't get a chance to talk to anybody, Mike. And the Fosters did not give up. Anybody else would have just canceled it and walked away. Those FFA kids were out there at 9 a.m. They were there all freaking day. There was over 100 of them. The beef that made the burgers that they served were from the steers that they raised and killed. And it was just like, it's crazy. They signed a petition 4 years ago to have this pull. It was just amazing. Just a real good, heartwarming community type of a thing, Mike. So
it's a tractor pull affiliated with a school function. There needs to I want to set the precedent that needs to happen. There should be at least one sentence in every state that reflects true with that. This is a school sponsored tractor pull. I would love to see that.
Bevier, Missouri, coming next.
The Bevier Open.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling invitees.
We could have it at Macon and just call it the Bevier Pull.
Why not?
It'd be like kind of like what they do at Buckner, Sibley, kind of. Other than like those towns are literally 25 feet apart, so like it's a little bit
25
different.
feet apart.
They're not far from each other. And you touched. Don't forget, folks. Jason Schultz.
Yes.
Jason Schultz touched the untouchable truck.
Yeah, I was hoping you hurry up and say that because you're like, he touched. And I'm like, Mike, get to it. Get to it. I don't want to get in trouble. So Daryl Norman's a good dude. Ardmore, Alabama, Mid-South Pole next July. That's the weekend after Simon's deal, I think, is his dates for next year, if I remember correctly. So like that the week before Toma. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Kenzie, you got any nothing?
Nothing.
We need a Kinsey, so we're always brainstorming. We do need like this is the retro pulling and what's in the name. So I used to watch College Game Day, and they're like cameraman. His name was Bear, and he would make picks, and his picks were always right. And so they eventually just started putting Bear on camera, even though he didn't like the talk. So like we need.
Is that the guy that comes up? Yeah, and he puts his little magnets up there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So we need a 5-minute section where you and I just stop talking, and it's like Kenzie's conditions or something like that, and she tells us about.
We can send Kenzie over to fullpullpicks.com. Just let her
But
get
not 5 minutes. That's too long.
Is it? Let's talk for about 30 seconds. So
I don't know that you and I could be quiet for 5 minutes.
Well, we can. We just mute ourselves. It's okay. Awesome. No, you pulling fans are the best. Help us continue to grow this awesome sport. Full Pull Live, we're going to be there for you to bring it for you all season long, as well as Outlaw TV from Lufkin. Can't wait to see all of you in Sevierville, Tennessee. And then, like I said, we're going to go to Raleigh, and then we're going to go to Lufkin, Texas, and then Diesel's and Dark Corners, and then California. So we're going to start having some of these promoters on here in the next couple of weeks. Michael, what was that like? Was that
that's like California? You're going out to California. Like
Messetti does do that. So
he's a gangster.
Mike, sign us off.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Let's Grow Pulling this final day of September. Lots of great action coming to you all the months to go. Just because school is in session doesn't mean that pulling is out. Thanks for watching.
Now, can you say bye?
Bye. My voice cracked.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's make some noise. Good running. John Deere, Animal Deep Iowa coming up. We got one right behind you.